Yo, what's up YouTube? Jerry Dan Gaming coming back with another Rise of Kingdoms video, and today we have, I want to say, the official leaks for the new museum buffs that are going to be coming into Rise of Kingdoms. I think on the 14th they should be dropping, so we're getting these a few days early. These do have the 1093 stamp of approval, so anytime I see that, I think, hey Dan, let's make a video, because usually their stuff is on point. And this stuff looks pretty good. And just a real quick before we jump in, guys, I just want to give a quick thank you so much to everyone, especially for their patience as well. I probably should have done this a lot sooner, but memberships are live. Go to my homepage on YouTube and click that join button. You can see all of the options. You'll get access to exclusive emojis and also membership badges that you can see in chat and use as well. I'm very happy with how those emojis came out, and I'll kind of divulge a little bit more onto those. And the tier 2, tier 3 memberships, those will kind of go more or less live as soon as I'm done revamping my Discord, so stay tuned for some of that info. Tier 3, I can probably finagle a little bit if someone does sign up for tier 3 and they want to hop on stream with me. I think that's something that I can definitely work out, but I'm in the process of redoing my Discord right now, so just have a little bit of patience. But just want to throw that quick little plug in there before we jump right into the video and check out the museum buffs. Oh, museum buffs. Oh, museum buffs. All right, so for those who don't know, I believe at some point last year we got a new building in Rise of Kingdoms, which was the museum. Now these gave you the ability to buy these items called relics. Flood was actually gifted to us for free. Thank you, Lilith, for giving us something for free for once. So this was an effort to try and boost some of the older generation commanders, mainly pretty much the first gen commanders, gold key commanders, and the first ring of commanders that would show up on the Wheel of Fortune and or Mightiest Governor events. Now these were pretty good when they first came out, honestly. Made Minamoto and Double C usable for me once again as a Cav main. Charles Motel got a very nice buff. Mulan, I mean, all the guys that have relics right next to there, these guys have gotten some pretty decent buffs, which is why I went ahead and purchased them. Now, for each relic that you do obtain, it is going to be slightly more expensive to unlock, which is why you really do have to be careful with this. Now, I've been hoarding these for I don't know how long. I think I actually just picked up the YSG one because I finally just started using him with archer units. He wasn't attached to my Saladin anymore, but these buffs were pretty fun. Like I said, it gave me the ability to use my Minamoto and Double C in Season of Conquest again, and depending on support skills that you get, you can really kind of take advantage of some of these guys. I remember in one of our heroic anthems we got a support skill which was William's second, I believe, which gave more march speed to the march that I had. So I said I'm gonna run Gengis Khan Double C with this Williams support skill, and it was ripping, kids, because it made up for that deficit that Khan needed on the march speed. Double C was giving me health now. He was giving a little bit extra damage factor, and it was ripping kids in the field. And I had a lot of fun with it. So depending on if you're playing heroic anthem, if you get those support skills, and then we have new warriors unbound mode, so the possibilities are starting to really open up for us. But we're not here to talk about museum version 1.0. we're here to talk about museum version 2.0. So with that, let me jump to the screen over here that I have, and shout out to King Ray of 2576 for actually hooking me up with these. And then also I believe my buddy Rave dropped it into our Kingdom Discord as well. All right, so here we are, and I'll just hide my face real quick just so you can see Alex under me real quick. We'll do him first, but as you can see, we have the 1093 tag on here. Here are all of the second generation commanders, including Wu, which is a nice surprise. So we'll just go right here first. Alexander the Great, he's going to be getting a nice 10% infantry defense buff and a normal attack reduction of 3%. So kind of that standard tankiness that he needs. He has conditional tankiness when it comes to when his shield pops up. So this just gives him a nice little bit of tank for free. So you don't have to really kind of worry about proccing a skill or doing anything of the sort. My man Gengis Khan is going to be getting a 10% cav defense buff, and this is going to be a little bit different. This is, I think a lot of people thought it was going to be a 20% health, but 10% defense is okay. I think honestly, compared to the buffs that we're getting with Minamoto, which is a 20%, I think they could have just gone ahead and made it 20%. These guys are good, but they're not that good to say, hey, let's cut 10% of stats. So I would have liked to see the 20% on Alex as well. And then Genghis Khan is going to be getting a boost to his active skill damage, which will bring that all the way up to 1800. He does have a 1700 damage factor nuke, which that will affect his expertise, because now you have that 30% chance to launch another active skill, and that'll be 1800. Saladin is going to be getting a cavalry attack of 10% and a march speed of 10%. Again, a little bit underwhelming. I think I would have liked to see 20% attack on Saladin. He is a commander who's very good already, so to give him, like, if I saw some leaks, some like fake leaks of him getting like counter a more skill damage reduction, I'm like, that's just ridiculous. Like, if this guy gets that, then Saladin's gonna be usable with Jan Zizka and Garrison or something like that. So 10%, again, a little bit underwhelming, but 10% march speed is okay, I guess. Saladin, not much changes coming to his kit. Tamiris, though, archer health 15% and then march speed to archers 10%. I think that's pretty good. She does need a little bit of I think stats. I don't think she has any stats, to be honest. Let's go check. I don't think she has any base stats that she gives you, to be honest. And there she is. This is a conquering skill. Oh, she does give you an attack bonus and then the defense reduction. But that's the only base stat that she's giving you is the attack. So nice little archer health there for Tamiris. How that changes how people are going to use her, I'm not really sure, because she really needs to be an anti-rage build, and so much now what people want to do is do full rage and really go for heavy nukes, quick nukes. So she is still going to be very conditionally used. She could probably go pretty well with an Artemisia with an anti-rage build. So I think that'll give you a total of like 35% archer health and the march speed, which Artemisia definitely needs. So I might actually play with that a little bit and maybe make Artemisia come back into my lineup at some point if I do have that extra archer march, or if I just want to have that archer debuff. Next is going to be Edward of Woodstock. I don't think any of this fixes anything for him. He's going to get a 10% boost archer defense and an active skill damage factor of 150. I think that now gives him the highest nuke in the game yet again, but his kit is just totally wrecked from his first skill and the active and the rage reduction that he puts onto himself. So I think because of that debuff that he's throwing on, he's just never going to be good in the world of Rise of Kingdoms. So Banana Hat, sorry man, you're still gonna probably stay on the bench. Constantine, a little bit of an underwhelming buff, I think, in my opinion. Infantry attack 20%, so they gave him the 20%, but they couldn't give everyone else 20%. He did really kind of need it though, and then a normal attack damage boost of 5%. I still don't think that makes Constantine viable in the field. The problem with Constantine was that he just didn't have enough damage, and this is really, it helps, but it's not enough. And then Wu, she's going to get a 15% troop attack, which is pretty nice. So that means it's universal. You can use her with anything on that. And then a skill damage bonus of 5%, which is okay. You're not going to see Wu Zetians come into the fold because of this. Maybe you can still try some siege defenses, but YSS and Heraclius are here, so why would you ever want to do that? All in all, I think these buffs are a little bit underwhelming, and I'll just hide my head again just so you can see the Alex in summation. But yeah, I'm really not blown away at these. I mean, I'll probably maybe bring Genghis Khan into my lineup with the 10% health, 10% defense, I mean. The only one that really got a benefit from this, I think, is going to be Tamir's, because 15% health is pretty good. I think they're just off here on the buff that they were giving them. And now there's a part 2 to this museum buff as well, which is going to include additional relics. So maybe these are the base stat lines for these commanders, and you will have the ability to bring them up an extra 5 or 10%. That we don't have information on just yet. But let's go over to part 2 on these on the museum buffs, and you can see here that the original museum commanders that were shown are going to get an additional buff with additional relics. So I'll do these bottom 2 right here with Mehmed and Mulan, so I can bring my face back in. But with a second relic, Mehmed is going to give you an additional 10% health and an additional 5% skill damage. I think that is outstanding. He was very much usable in the field already, and I think this just adds to it. Mulan is going to get a 10% health increase and then a skill damage reduction of 15%. So I think that is very good too. I mean, where the 10% health was kind of meh, I think the 15% skill damage reduction looks much more appealing to me than 10%. So I think she's definitely, you know, could make appearances with a commander like Richard or something like that. So some pretty nice buffs from those two, and then we'll just work our way bottom to top, I guess. Charlemagne is going to get an additional 20% attack, and then an additional 200 active damage on his active skill. Sorry, Charlemagne, you're still going to be poo-poo. I don't think he's going to make it. That's going to make much of a difference. Ragnar, he's going to get an additional 15% troop defense and then an additional 5% normal attack damage reduction. It's kind of cool if you want to just take the punching bag approach and just throw like him and Richard onto the field, and that dude just really will probably have a lot of sustain. Other than a punching bag approach, it's whatever. Thutmose gets a pretty nasty stat increase. I'm not really super familiar with the rest of his kit, but I don't think that it's really Season of Conquest viable. But now he's giving you 35% archer attack and 30% archer health. That's pretty nutty. If his boosts are anything like what we would see on the Gen 2 commanders with an additional relic, I think that's, you know, something that we can all look forward to. Hannibal is going to get a 15% increase to his attack. I'm looking on this over here, by the way. I'll look over here. It's kind of weird. I'm like looking at my second screen. 15% increase to his attack here, and then a 5% increase to his normal attack damage reduction. This one's pretty okay from El Cid too, I think, is an additional 15% attack and then an active skill damage factor of another 150. So that'll bring him all the way up to 1300. That's pretty good. Is it worth the second relic? I'm not sure. Martel is going to get another additional 10% infantry attack and then an additional 5% infantry health, which brings him all the way up to 30% base infantry health, I believe. So that's pretty nice, where he definitely was still usable in Season of Conquest, and I think that just adds to it. Very much is the case with Minamoto. He's going to get a another 10% increase on cav defense and then an additional 5% attack. That's pretty good. I think I can maybe start to see myself working him into my lineup a little bit more. Again, I really think he's underrated because of his fourth skill and that debuff. So that extra 10% is really kind of enticing me to bring him back into my lineup now. Richard, giving you a little bit more infantry march speed, a boost of 5%, and then 3% additional counterattack damage. I think that is what it is. Nothing too crazy there. Double C getting an additional 10% health, and then another 100 to his damage factor, which brings him all the way up to 1800 now. So he's on par with Gengis Khan in terms of active skill damage now. YSG is going to give you another 10% archer defense and then an additional 2% skill damage. Mr. Freddy over here is going to give you another 15% attack all the way up to 40%, and then a skill damage reduction of an additional 5% all the way to 15. Julius Caesar, an all damage bonus of an additional 10% and then a little bit extra march speed, which is pretty nice. You can kind of work some cool funky combos with with Julius, I think. Are they going to be ideal? I don't think so, but you can get playful nonetheless. And don't forget too, with a commander like Freddy and Julius, maybe Charlemagne a little bit, Hannibal, these guys are going to have conditional skills when it comes to attacking cities and or strongholds. I think a lot of these guys are mainly for cities. So you could get playful, like if you're looking to swarm down a city. Like Julius actually does have a very nice passive skill which debuffs the enemy's city's defense, so don't forget about that when you are maybe trying to think of some marches to send out there to swarm a city down. Julius can actually have some pretty handy things that he can bring to you. And then Ethelflaed is going to get another 10% boost to the troop attack, and then an additional 5% march speed, which I think that puts her on par now with that of Honda. No, Honda's 20%, but she's up there with march speed, so that's pretty good. Actually, Julius might be up there then. Or Julius 20%. Julius with that base march speed might make him one of the faster marches. I gotta look into that, but nonetheless, these are pretty good. I'm curious to see what the additional relics are going to cost us. I wasn't sure on those, to be honest, when I first saw the update, but I think we can say that it's an okay update. I think if anything, the first generation commanders of the museum will benefit more so from this. If the Gen 2 commanders have that second relic spot and what we saw was just the base stat lines, then I think we can maybe have a little bit more wow factor. But the Gen 2 commanders really aren't going to, it's not going to change all that much. It's 10% stats here, a little bit damage here. Camiris is probably going to be your best bet in terms of who came out on top from this buff. And then the Gen 1 commanders, Minamoto, Mehmed, Mulan, Charles, YSG, Cao Cao. I think a lot of these guys continue to get better and kind of continue to keep them somewhat relevant. So I think that is a good thing, but I do think that the Gen 2 commanders need a little bit of an additional boost, because to be honest, I don't see us getting more museum buffs past Generation 2. I think Generation 3 commanders, your Guan Yus, your Attilas, your Artemisias, like there's very few commanders as the game progressed where they kind of really made their kits more complex and really just instilled the true value into these commanders. So I think we're probably done seeing museum buffs. I don't think we're going to see them into Generation 3 commanders. That's just how I would do it. I think the Generation 3 and on commanders are totally fine. I think that we'll maybe get one more museum buff with the additional relics for Gen 2 commanders, and then I think that'll probably be it. And then you can kind of say that some of these commanders are pretty much on par, at least the base stat line wise, of what we have with the new generation, new era of SOC commanders that are coming out. They're not going to change the rest of their kits. The passive skills and all the other cool funky things that those commanders do, they're not going to change those things, because that's how you break the game. You're gonna really tweak some metas and piss some people off. So I think them by just adjusting base stats that these commanders will give to you is a good thing. We'll probably see one more. I'm somewhat happy with this. If I have to give this on a rating out of like 5 stars, I would give it like a 2-star rating for this update that we're going to be getting. But we'll see. Maybe I'm proven wrong, because a lot of times what looks on paper performs a little bit differently on the field. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, please consider slapping a like on that and subscribing as well. Just a heads up too, for those who made it all the way into this video, memberships are now live. You can do so by going to my homepage and then clicking join. That will give you exclusive access to emojis and badges to use while we're streaming. And then also the tier 2 and tier 3 perks are going to give you a little bit more access into the Discord, which I am revamping at the moment. So that is going to take a little bit of time. The tier 3, I can probably work a little bit if I do a live stream and someone you know, signs up for the third tier of my membership, and they want to do a live stream with me and hop on. A little bit more info to come on that stuff, and I'll be revealing more so as we come along. But I'm very happy with how the emojis came out, and yeah, so consider joining and becoming a member of the Dirty Gang. It's official. With that, I'm out. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a good one. Take care. Peace.